Hey, good morning, everyone. Wake your asses up. Let's go. Good morning, Southern California and adjoining states. The weather is 58 degrees currently with a high of 77 and a low of, I don't know. Welcome in, guys. It's the AJ Sports Show. How's it going?
Week 2, baby. Let's go. Week 1 went by
Damn.
so fast, but here we go.
That's what I was about to say. I'm always so excited for the football season to come back, and then it always goes by way faster than I expect. I need to savor it and enjoy it more. That's what I need to start doing. I need to start enjoying the finer things in life, like my boy Ace.
Well, so for some of us it's week 1 still because we haven't gotten that W. So let's go Buffalo. Turn the cap around today. Can't let no miners and Steelers or whatever they're called over there bring me down. It's today's time to squish the fish. Let's go Buffalo.
I think you ought to get it done. Yeah, I think you will. Miami played a close game last week against New England. They only won by 1. Buffalo is y'all gonna be pretty pissed. I would imagine. Josh Allen, mentioned that he didn't get off to the start that he wanted, and mainly the start that nobody really expected. So I expect them to play a lot better this week, and that'll probably that'll reflect later when we do our game picks. But Thursday night was wacky. Coming off that Monday night, Thursday night football was even wackier than Monday night. Not really because it didn't go to overtime. But
are we still in the preseason? Did I not know that? We're jumping off sides on a field goal attempt to win the game. That's what we're doing now.
Well, if it was in Goodell's hands, it would be a 20-week season with 1 preseason game. So I don't know. You'd be in week 3 by now.
Ace and I picked the Giants. You're the only one still in week 1, Ace. What up, Ryan? Morning, man. Bright and early. Thanks for joining in, buddy.
Bright and early with the zingers, Ryan is.
Oh, that's great.
I'm not even going to say anything besides that and this. Wow. That hurt a little bit.
And Ace and I, we picked the Giants to win that night, and they missed the first field goal, and then, like Jay mentioned, the offsides it was like a 51-yard attempt turned into a 46-yard attempt. Nailed the second one.
Just absolutely nailed it.
Yeah. Washington football team turned the ball over with 2 minutes to go, and Taylor Heineke threw a pick. James Bradbury intercepted a route. The Giants took the lead, and then I was like, all right, this is cool. They're not gonna do it again. And then whatever. Johnny got the win. I like Heineke, so I guess that's kind of a karma against me. I've been advocating for him to start over Fitzpatrick. So
sure as shit, they did it again.
Taylor Heineke gets an annoyed eye roll from me, but I do like the fact that he went off and played well.
I was gonna say just real quick, sorry. It's just so funny because Taylor Heineke, obviously not a first round draft pick. You would imagine he is not. His team would not think the same of him that the New York Giants should think about Daniel Jones, and yet we obviously saw that the New York Giants they had that turnover and ran the ball twice into the line of scrimmage and threw an awful pass and had to kick the field goal, right? And Heineke threw the ball 40-something times,
something like that. Yeah.
Jesus, Danny Jones out of New York here next year. Good Lord.
So Thursday night football games, week 1 versus week 2. You had the Dallas Cowboys versus the Tampa Bay Bucks, and then last week you had the Giants at the Washington football team. Which game was better?
A better watch?
Mm-hmm.
It was definitely the Cowboys and Bucks game, I'd say.
Yeah, I think Cowboys and Bucks definitely was more fun. Anytime you get to see Tom Brady drive down the field to win the game instead of Taylor Heineke, it's more exciting. So I think that's really all it took. The game script was pretty similar. It was a bit of an ugly game for both, so the script was kind of similar. But
on a scale of 1 to 5 or 100, what would you rate that game?
A scale of 1 to 5. I'll give you both. Okay, a scale of 1 to 5. We're rating the Washington football this past game, right? So scale of 1 to 5. I'll give it a 3.5 on a scale of 1 to 5.
Do we round up or round down? Do you round up or round down?
Can I not go decimals?
Mm-mm.
Oh, 3. I can't give that a 4. No way. I can't. caught me by surprise. That's why I was like, wait, why do I gotta give an even number? But okay. From on a scale of 1 to 100, the only reason I can't give it a 4 because I can't give Danny Dimes any reason to have above average viewership games. I just can't, and I don't even know why I keep calling him Danny Dimes. It's just the alliteration that keeps running off my mouth, and because it just makes a lot of sense. And I wish he would throw some damn dimes, but he's Danny Legs instead, and they don't give the ball to Saquon. They're doing the same thing with Saquon that they do with Ezekiel Elliott in Dallas right now.
Weird.
Where they're just handing it off to Saquon and saying, "Hey, run up the middle and go get us 10 yards." And then he gets stuffed, and everyone's like, "Oh, Saquon sucks. Oh, Zeke sucks. He can't run the ball. Oh,
Jeez, get the ball in space, would you? Jesus.
They got morning, Lord Lizzie. They got Daniel Jones running freaking read option counter routes off tackle to the left side and then getting holding penalties. But geez, we can't give Saquon the ball going off tackle right or left. We just toss it right up the middle on a halfback dive. Madden freaking 15. Ridiculous.
I'm with you. Okay, so there's 13 games today, and then we have a Sunday night football game, so that's 14. So pretty much got the whole the whole slate here we can cover and talk about. Today we're going to talk about primetime picks, week 2, give you guys our update on our records. Some of us didn't make it out of the Survivor pool week 1. This guy messed me up. But the remaining
I hate myself for it.
You were so close.
Those who have not fallen.
Dalvin Cook was down. Okay? Dalvin, his ass was on the grass.
Ass to grass. Those who are alive will still give us their picks, and then Jay will spend a little time with some DFS players to maybe target or fade, give you some of his noggin notes that he has written down and whatnot. We can talk about a little about news though, if you want to get into that just for a little minute here. Andrew, you got the latest from New Orleans.
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys heard, but there was a big COVID outbreak this past week in the Saints facility. Mostly, from what I understand, only affecting trainers and coaches. None of the players are going to be missing any time, but they are going to be normally Sean Payton's staff fields 20, not 12, or not 20. I'm sorry, they field 12 offensive assistants, and they're going to be without 7 of them. I'm not going to name them all because even if I do have all the names, nobody's going to know exactly who they are. So they're going to be without 7 of their offensive assistants. So I'm not going to give you the names. They all tested positive for COVID, so they are isolating. Hopefully they, get just speedy recoveries. I mean, COVID is obviously no joke as we continue to try and, maneuver and find our way through this virus. The game hasn't been suspended by any means. It's going to get played. And part of the reason why that's going to go into why I'm picking the particular outcome that I'm going to be picking, and due in part, Sean Payton's staff is very is a very offensive oriented staff, as we know, very creative staff, and to not have 7 of those offensive assistants there, I think that's going to be taking a toll on a football team that's coming off riding a really big high after getting a big win against Green Bay. So we'll have to wait and see. In terms of news, there wasn't a lot of other stuff. I don't know if you guys have anything you want to say about the New Orleans news. Just a couple good matchups. That's really all we're looking forward to. A couple good games.
It stinks for New Orleans. They've been kind of put in a shit spot, to say, for lack of better terms, to start the season. Obviously, Hurricane Ida came and forced them out of New Orleans, so they've been spending time in Houston, I believe. That's where their facilities have been. So they've pretty much been living in hotels, and obviously they had to fly to Jacksonville to play their game in Week 1. So now they're going to Carolina. Not like it's too far, but it never makes it any easier when you're out of your when you're out of your rhythm, out of your facility. Everything just seems a lot more easier when you're there. So yeah, right. It sucks, man.
Hey, here's something you might go ahead, Ace, I'm sorry, and then I'll move on to something else I was going to bring up.
I was not going to elaborate any further. I was going to mention another point, but go ahead first.
Oh, gotcha. I was going to say that this might excite Johnny a little bit because Micah Parsons, this actually happened earlier in the week. DeMarcus Lawrence broke his toe in practice, so he's gonna have, or was it his foot or his toe? I can't remember. It was
foot or something. It was his foot.
So he broke his foot. He's gonna be out for a little while. I think they already put him on IR, so he's got to be out at least
6 to 8 weeks. I think it's 6 to 8 weeks. Yeah.
Okay, so reason I bring up Michael Parsons is because apparently he's going to be playing some defensive end today against the Chargers. From the linebacker spot, he's going to be normally, and he's going to be playing a little bit of defensive end. So he's going to be able to come off the edge. The Cowboys could use it. Aside from DeMarcus Lawrence, if you saw in Game 1 against the Bucs, the Cowboys weren't able to generate much of a pass rush. So the young rookie Michael Parsons will be able to show a little bit of what he can do off the edge. Obviously, that linebacking core in Dallas is pretty deep with Leighton Vander Esch, Jalen Smith, and Michael Parsons. No more Sean Lee, so it's going to be up to Vander Esch and Smith to kind of steady the load and hopefully limit the run game. They will be up to the task of stopping Mr. Injury himself, Austin Eckler. I hate to say that. I hate to say it. I don't mean that in a mean way, but I just feel like he's just one guy I can't trust to always be on the field. Do you have him in fantasy, or are you playing him in DFS? Is that why?
No. I just like him.
Oh yeah, he's a solid player. He just can't stay healthy. I feel really bad. Like there's just certain players that just can't sometimes can't stay healthy. And Austin,
Asa sounded like genuinely hurt. He was like, "Oh, Eckler, jeez, yeah, I feel bad for the guy. I feel you." Jeez.
I kind of felt bad for saying that because I don't like injuries. We take very seriously everything, and we don't like to see players get injured. And
you're not wishing it upon him. You're just telling him not to be hurt so much. I mean,
right.
He's always hurt. That's why every time season long comes around, everyone's like, "Oh, it's Austin Eckler season." Pound the table for Austin Eckler season. It's 3 straight seasons now. We have not seen him play anything close to a full season. I mean,
Trade him here.
Well, you know what? I think that might not be true.
He won't have to. He won't have to run. We'll just throw him the ball.
Well, that's what we thought they were going to be doing in Los Angeles. He only had 1 target last week. Most of the guys that I follow and that do the research and stuff, obviously I do my own too, but seem like it's more of an anomaly than anything. He got 3 rushes inside the 5-yard line last week, which is something that people used to complain about. It used to be the thing with Austin Eckler was he got all the pass work, and then inside the 20, it was like everyone else, like Joshua Kelly or Melvin Gordon, they were all eating and taking away the touchdown leverage from him. And then now, like week 1, he got 1 target, and everyone's like, "Oh, PPR master! You guys say Austin Eckler is a PPR running back fiend, and now he gets 1 target." Well, he had 3 carries inside the 5. Pick one. What do you want?
Love it. Okay, so some other quick injury notes that I have here. Eric Fisher, Colts' new left tackle, expected to make his season debut today against the Rams. Carson Wentz was sacked 3 times last week by the Seattle defense. That'll be good for him. Good for Wentz. Jason Peters, that old man in Chicago, is questionable with the quad that limited him last week. The New York Jets wide receiver Jamison Crowder, who was like their wide receiver 1 last year, probably. Is questionable with a groin injury, but he is expected to play against the Patriots today. The Raiders defensive end Yannick Ngakoue is limited with a hamstring injury this week. He's questionable, but John Gruden, the man with 9 lives, thinks he's optimistic to play. 10-year contract, 9 lives. The 49ers believe Eric Armstead and Javon Kinlaw will play today against the Eagles as long as they warm up well. And I don't know if this was on your list, but defensive line coach Ryan Nielsen and pass rush specialist Brian Young joined the list of coaches who won to attend Sunday's game against Carolina. I cannot read.
It's early in the morning, man. In California, we barely get some coffee in it, so it's all good. We got some fog out today. Even Jay got excited about fog. He likes the foggy days, the overcast days are the best.
Overcast? It just brings me back to when I was a little kid. We used to go to Pinecrest, you know what I'm saying? I used to have the outdoor basketball courts. I'd get there super early because Pops drive the old boost, and, we're there. Got nothing else to do, no one to play with. But when it was this overcast weather, I can go out there, get a little sweat going, feels real nice, good on the skin. It's great. I heard it's great for your skin. That's what I heard. Looked it up in a book.
Did you guys hear, by the way, because you brought up the Raiders, and I want to mention John Gruden. Does he actually ever say anything intelligent? Or does he ever say anything that actually makes any sense?
Well, he thinks it all makes sense and it's intelligent, but if we do, that's different. Yeah.
Outside of the Raiders facility, so Josh Jacobs is hurt today and he's not playing.
Ouch.
And Kenyon Drake was, not a big time offseason signing, but a solid one, and a guy who was, everyone was kind of wondering like where he was going to end up. He was kind of limited last week, didn't play a ton, but he came out this week, and John Gruden was asked like, oh, with Josh Jacobs out, is Kenyon Drake, is the next man up mentality? He's all like, you know what, we actually really like this kid Peyton Barber. He really runs the rock really well. Kenyon Drake is gonna be facilitated in the offense, just the way he was last week. He's gonna get the ball when he gets it. But Peyton Barber's gonna get this big workload. Like Peyton Barber, like he's like we brought him over from Tampa. We really love the kid. We love his attitude. Like I just don't know what's going on over there. Like this team, and they managed to win somehow against the Ravens. Like in a game, and then they had their own band is on the field moment where they thought they won the game, and then I swear that Monday night game was just I could talk about it forever, but it was I had to mention it because John Gruden just never ceases to amaze me with what he says and how he goes about his business. And 7 more seasons.
Yeah, he was the cat that was hanging off of Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, bro. Jesus, I don't even know if the Raiders won that game so much as the Raiders also lost that game. That was a freaking absolute unmitigated disaster on all fronts. Lamar Jackson fumbled twice, and it kind of sucks because actually, for being Chiefs fans, Andrew and I know Asa does too. We all very much like Lamar Jackson and like his sustainability and longevity he's going to be able to have in the league. I think he's going to be able to do this for quite a while. I think he's a better thrower of the football than people give him credit for. And the one thing that he's never really done in his career is turn the ball over, specifically for someone who runs the ball so much as he does via fumbling. And it happened twice the other day. Like it just allowed that false narrative to get fed into those novices' heads out there. So annoying.
I'm just over here trolling you and putting Mike Vick light up on the screen. No big deal.
Oh, dude, Mike. Okay, so can we have this real quick? Real quick conversation. Lamar Jackson throws the ball better than Michael Vick now, right? I mean, like maybe not like in terms of just pure arm talent, but like, I mean, I think Lamar Jackson's better than Michael Vick.
How many MVPs Lamar Jackson have? How many does Michael Vick have?
Yeah, 1 and 0. So yeah, I agree. Right.
I think Lamar Jackson already is a better player than Michael Vick ever was.
Lamar Jackson's win percentage is like 78%.
It's just under Patrick Mahomes to start his career.
It's unbelievable.
Wow, I didn't know Michael Vick was gonna get run through the gutter here.
Excellent quarterback. I mean, great runner in his day. I mean, he threw a nice deep ball. I mean, when he had deep threats, but
Madden 04. I mean, who could ever forget Madden 04? You just take Michael Vick, you hold the R2 button, you run directly back, you get everyone in a straight line, and then you just boom, hit the corner, and no one's catching you. 90-yard touchdowns every time. 99 speed, no one's catching.
There was a rule we weren't allowed to use Michael Vick. We weren't allowed to use the Falcons, and because you could also throw it up to Algie Crumpler at tight end, who was like 6'5" and like 290 pounds, and for some reason had like a 92 speed rating, and you were able to just go with Algie Crumpler. Like he was a tight end back then. But anyway, we're not going to slander Mike Vick. He was great his day, but I think personally, I would rather have Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but I mean, it still seems weird to.
It's glare.
Well, Mike Vick had a 1,000-yard rushing season. His last season in Atlanta, back in like 2006 or 7 or something like that. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, I liked Mike Vick, and then he had obviously did some weird stuff in his life, but whatever. The Eagles, right? He played for the Eagles. Yeah.
Yeah, he came back, played for he even played for the Steelers and won them a game. Had a game-winning touchdown run against with the Steelers. Crazy.
Andrew, are you going into the light right now? Are you going to the other side? Okay, let's do.
I wasn't gonna sing.
I told myself today I was not going to sing, and I just broke.
Unless the Chiefs win.
I broke my one rule. Okay, let's talk about. I guess we could. Justin Fields is going to be on the field a little bit more today. That was the last little news that I had. He's expected to play some more snaps today. Fields. Okay. Jay, do you want to take it over and talk about some of your DFS players that you got your riders today, and maybe you're avoiding, and then I'll low key just change my lineup, and right now while you're talking.
Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely. So for me, oh my gosh, Andrew, you do look like you just went into. There you go. That's better.
Hallelujah.
So Ace said Andrew, no, but for me personally, I'm more of a cash game player. That's what I've normally stuck to the last 2 years. I'm still relatively novice. We're still learning. So I've been dabbling into more tournament lineups this year, but I'm still really like to focus in on cash. I play probably about 65-70% of my bankroll is cash, and that allows me to build up a bankroll and then play in those tournaments. Whenever I play cash, I always feel more comfortable playing 3 running backs. We've talked about it before, how much more secure I think running back touches are when you're able to, correctly judge them. I mean, it's really hard to screw up on a handoff. So I prefer a running back who's going to get, a certain amount of touches out of the backfield than receivers a lot of times.
Woo!
Oh, Jesus. Our mindset in DFS has had to change a little bit, right? Because of the way the NFL is now. I mean, people are throwing the ball 50 times a game. And a lot of times, especially in PPR, you don't get a point when you get a handoff as a running back. You get a full point, even if you don't gain a single yard as a wide receiver in PPR formats. So this week was a little bit of a struggle for me personally. We're putting together our cash lineup. Obviously, the biggest game of the week in terms of fantasy is going to be that Chargers and Dallas game. I mean, Dallas's defense is not very great. We saw that in week 1. Obviously, they were playing Tampa Bay, but then add on injuries to Randy Gregory and to DeMarcus Lawrence. I don't know how they're really going to do anything against the Chargers, to be quite honest with you. The Chargers offensive line was absolutely unbelievable last week against the Washington football team in that front. First round pick Sean Slater, who, apparently the NFL teams thought, should stay around until the Chargers. I don't know how. We all had him going in the top 10. Go figure. Signed us for GMs. Didn't allow a single sack yesterday. Didn't allow a hit last week. Absolutely was dominant against one of the best perimeter edge rushers in Chase Young. So good luck, Dallas. So that's a game that we're going to be targeting and everyone's going to be targeting. And even in cash, you want to get some exposure there. So my cash lineup right now, and I'm going to give you guys I'm not going to give you the whole lineup. I'm going to give you guys some points. Okay. Obviously we're going with Dak and we're going with CeeDee Lamb. He's a little bit cheaper than Amari Cooper. And he gets more of the slot looks than Amari Cooper is. What's actually interesting is that Amari Cooper for his career is more efficient out of the slot than CeeDee Lamb is. But due to his size, CeeDee's being, I think the Cowboys like utilizing him more out of the slot, and that's something they have tend to do, especially now with McCarthy there. And those looks are just, he's right at the line of scrimmage. A lot of the times he's running routes right in front of the quarterback's face. But we saw in week 1, if you single cover Amari Cooper, the Dallas and don't put a safety over top, the Dallas Cowboys have no problem throwing it to Amari Cooper 15 times a game. But when you look at it, both of them are projected for double-digit targets, so really wanted to get them in there. Keenan Allen, in the 13 games that Justin Herbert started and he started, has seen double-digit targets in 12 of them. I mean, literally, he's one of the easiest cash plays every week. Just throw him in there because he's going to get 10 to 12 targets at minimum every single week. So I wanted exposure there. But that means that you can't play the studs, right? And the studs like Christian McCaffrey and Alvin Kamara, nothing's changed. It's unbelievable how Christian McCaffrey last week did not get the 100-yard rushing bonus, did not get the 100-yard passing bonus, and did not score a touchdown. Okay? That would close. If I told you all that, you would think that he probably didn't have a great fantasy day. He had 29.9 DraftKings points. He scored a touchdown. Didn't have a 100-yard bonus in either one. I'm going to go on a limb and say that most of the time he's going to get at least into the end zone once. I mean, you're playing the Jets. The fact that he didn't get in the end zone is a freaking mockery. So, yeah, 9,900, Christian McCaffrey is right there. And if you want to play like a Cedric Wilson, right? Didn't talk about Cedric Wilson yet for Dallas. But Cedric Wilson, from what it sounds like, is going to come in and play the Michael Gallup role. And, our boys over at Establish the Run, #EstablishTheRun, our boys, I love their content. Always am consuming their content literally all the time. They have Cedric Wilson projected for about 5 targets. He's $3,100. I mean, for $3,100, I'll take 5 targets. And then the opportunity for more being if this game goes bonkers like it did in week 1 against Tampa Bay, if they're going to throw the ball 50 times, even if he only gets like a 12 to 15% target share, that's like 7 targets at almost min. I'll take that all day. That's the only way I can see getting up to a McCaffrey or a Kamara. It makes it real difficult in cash, especially when you're trying to get exposure to these games. Another cash guy that I was really interested was Cooper Kupp. At 6K, man, against that Indianapolis zone. I'm not playing him right now in cash, and it's eating me alive at the moment. We'll see if that changes. But yeah, he's 6K.
Let's answer Ryan's question here because I left this comment on the screen for like
sorry.
6 minutes here. Any Browns
I didn't see it
today feel like an auto start? I would say Nick Chubb, just because they're playing Houston and they should win this game easily. So the game plan should favor running down the clock. Nick Chubb obviously gets 75% of the rushing looks and maybe 15% of the target share, like for passes. Jarvis Landry is also, you're going to be your wide receiver 1 again. OBJ is out as well. I would assume he gets a decent amount of points today. I wouldn't say his ceiling is, his floor is probably higher than his ceiling, so he's not probably going to go balls out, but he's going to get you, he's going to probably have a decent target share. So that would probably be my 2 thoughts. I don't know if anybody else, and you have any thoughts there too?
Yeah, if you were betting one person on a prop to score a touchdown today and be as safe as possible, like that's the only thing I told you. Hey, I need you to pick one person to score a touchdown today. It's got to be Nick Chubb. I mean, playing this absolutely awful Houston Texans team. Guys, you guys know because you guys are smart. The Texans suck. Like they beat the Jags. I had them beating the Jags. I mean, it's not like they're a veteran coach team. They have a veteran quarterback. They have 5 running backs that have been in the league for 20 years. Since I was 5, they've been in the league. They literally came in and they bullied a younger team in the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think the Jaguars will be better as the season goes along, but this Houston thing, don't be fooled. They're absolute trash. They're very bad. Like it's not close.
So someone that I was looking at on DFS that was super cheap, that had 4 catches, 81 yards last week. One of them being, I think he had a 30-yard catch or something. It was Bryan Edwards of the Las Vegas Raiders. And then, if I was going to pay up for someone, what do you think about Bryan Edwards? You have him in any of your lineups? Do you have any Raiders against the Steelers in your lineups today?
I can confidently say I don't have a single Raider in my lineup. I think it's a really tough spot for them, and I think that's kind of what we've been seeing around the industry. They're going across the country after a tough Monday Night Football game that went overtime, played almost a full overtime period against the Pittsburgh Steelers front 4 that gets after it. I mean, I can see this game getting really ugly. I have a ton of Najee Harris. Najee Harris is another one who's pretty much a stone lock in cash. If you want to play 2 free spots in cash this week, play Najee Harris, play Tyler Higbee. Both of those guys played 100% of their team snaps in week 1. 100. So, like, the biggest thing with fantasy, like, the best way to score points is to be on the football field. Every time their offense had the ball, those 2 guys were on the football field. Najee Harris, his price stayed exactly the same on DraftKings, did not go up. Obviously, he was inefficient in week 1. He had 15, 16 touches, but he only had about 60 yards. So I think he'll do a lot better than that against the Raiders. The Steelers are almost touchdown favorites against the Raiders, which means he should be in positive game script. So I have Najee Harris, and it's not just to say in cash. I'm running him out there in tournaments. You just have to make sure your ownership's in check, right? Like if you're running out Najee Harris and he's going to be 25% owned, you probably don't also want to stack him on top of the Dak Prescott, Keenan Allen, CeeDee Lamb, Amari stacks, because then you're too similar with the field, right? That's where you differentiate. So, for example, if I'm going to do Najee in a tournament, then I'm going to go with a Kyler Murray. I have him in a lot of my Kyler Murray stacks because Kyler Murray is 8,200. His price already going there differentiates you from the field because you're getting out of that mid-6s range. I mean, in that mid-6s range, you have Jalen Hurts, who I think is going to be a ridiculous fantasy quarterback based on what I saw in week 1 for the entire season at 65. You have Justin Herbert at 67. You have Dak at 68. So automatically spending that $1,400 up for Murray is going to differentiate you from the field. So you're okay playing a chalk Harris. So, no Bryan Edwards for me, though.
Heard.
Yeah, I think it's just to touch on it a little bit too. Richie Incognito, who I'm not already a fan of, his status is still up in the air for that game. He missed last week's game against the Ravens, and like Jay mentioned, on a short week on a road trip. One of the big pieces of their offensive line is going to be out against a really stingy Pittsburgh front. And again, I mentioned earlier, Josh Jacobs is out, so going to be kind of hard to fit in. It might be hard, like for fantasy regulars to be fitting in some Raiders guys, but. There is possibility for there is like a chance for a blowout because of because of the scenario that they're in. So they might be forced to throw the ball a lot, especially considering it in the run game. But yeah, me personally, I haven't had any Raiders in mind. Did I cut out for a sec?
Yeah, you did. You muted for a sec.
I don't know how that happened. I think my mic got unplugged. Sorry, I'm dealing with I'm trying to. I moved my laptop.
The sun is an issue.
I'm like, I'm trying to I'm gonna hold it up right here to just talk like this. Hey guys, just like. I was gonna hold my laptop because the glare is right there. It's killing me right now.
Oh no, sorry.
See, there it is. Oh well.
Oh boy, yeah.
Yeah.
Look like the movie poster for Interstellar.
It's because that fog that you love, the sun is poking right through it, and it's just beaming right through right through our big old skyline right over there. But it's okay. We'll manage.
Gotta take the good with the bad. Gotta take the good with the bad. So yeah, just for a DFS perspective, that's where we're looking. Yeah, a little nervous not playing 3 running backs, especially when Christian McCaffrey and Alvin Kamara are on the freaking slate. It's absolutely heart wrenching. But I just think that Dallas and Charger game is just there's going to be too much exposure to it, right? So if you can find a little bit of ways to be different elsewhere, I think you can get away with it. Yeah, I really got to look at this cash lineup again, though, man.
Okay. What do you think about like a stack of? Do you think it's going to be a popular stack today? Tom Brady, Antonio Brown, Robert Gronkowski.
It'll be one of the most played stacks in all of DFS this week, especially Tom Brady. It doesn't give you the rushing upside, but we've seen he can throw for 4 touchdowns pretty much any game when he really wants to. And then his pass catchers, their salaries have stayed in check, right? I mean, if you look at it this week, the most expensive guy is Godwin at 66. Then you get Evans at 61. Antonio 6. Gronk is 47. And then you have your easy bringbacks, right? I mean, it's Calvin Ridley and it's Kyle Pitts, and that's it. That's pretty much what I did. I pretty much made 3 Tom Brady lineups, and I put Tom with a combination of any 2, that being Godwin, Evans. So my player pool for Tampa was Godwin, Evans, Gronk, and Brown. And then, just Tom, 2 of those guys, 1 with Pitts, one run back with Calvin. You're not going to run a double stack there. I did do a Matt Ryan one just to take a shot at them. You got 20. I do 20 entries. So, I got a Matt Ryan one in there where I have Calvin Ridley and Kyle Pitts and then run it back with the Tampa guy. It's going to be one of the most highly owned stacks, especially seeing after, Philadelphia diced them up. And then Al Smizzle talked about this week, but it's always so fun when you hear the guys that are like, oh, well, Johnny, what if they blow him out? What if Tampa Bay goes in there and they smack him 35-10? What if that happens, huh? Well, who's scoring the 35 points, you dingleberries? If they're going to win by 30 points, if you truly believe that they're going to win by 3-4 touchdowns, someone's going to score 3-4 touchdowns. So, yeah, there's enough fantasy value there if you get it right in tournaments to get there.
Okay, let me give you some names that you didn't mention. You tell me target or fade, okay?
I love it. Let's go.
Russell Wilson against Tennessee.
Huge target. That's probably the 3rd best game on the slate in terms of pace and overall game score.
Okay. Kirk Cousins versus Arizona on the road.
It's a fade for me, especially after Chandler Jones got after that front 7. Obviously Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals got after him too, and Kirk Cousins under pressure is no good. You don't need to go there. You don't need to go that cheap.
Okay. What about a very cheap one of the cheapest guys, but maybe one of the cheapest guys on the slate here. Sam Darnold versus New Orleans.
Again, I don't think you need to go there. That's another game that, according to Establish the Run's pace model, they have that considered a slow slog. So no, don't want any part of that. Unfortunately, not when there's these really good afternoon games. That just real quick, Ace. If you can, you want to tinker your lineups to allow yourself to late swap to the afternoon games. The early games have some value, but there are 3 out of the 4 games in the afternoon slate that have an over-under right now in Vegas of over 50. So make sure you're using late swap, especially in the afternoon games. Put all those early guys into your running back and your wide receiver spots. Leave that flex spot for anyone you have in the afternoon game for late swapping purposes. And if you want to get contrarian, right? If you want to get contrarian, do it in the early games, because then if those contrarian plays hit, you're okay eating the chalk in the really valuable 50-plus odd over-under games in the afternoon slate.
Okay, let me give you some running backs. That's a really good point. James Robinson against Denver.
Big fade. That Denver defense is really good, and we saw the touches go way down for him in week 1.
Bradley Chubb is a game-time decision, just to throw that in there. So he didn't play week 1, but he's a game-time decision today. Just throwing that.
Yeah, love it. But then, yeah.
Myles Gaskin against Buffalo.
No. Just no. You don't need to go there.
Okay. Jonathan Taylor against the Rams.
Absolutely tournament viable. We saw him get 7 targets out of the backfield last week and 19 carries. Over the last since week 11 of last season, the only other running back to have more all-purpose yards than Jonathan Taylor, Derrick Henry.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Okay. What about Hopkins?
Smash! Absolute smash! Every single one of my tournament lineups that have Kyler Murray have DeAndre Hopkins. The ghost of Patrick Peterson is no match for Monsieur Hopkins, and neither is Rashad Breeland.
What about Steelers wide receivers today? Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool.
Absolutely not. Big favorites at home, touchdown favorites. I am big on Najee and Holy Toledo. Where's this ball going? I mean, Deontay did have 10 targets last week. Claypool had 5. Juju Smith had 6. It just doesn't look like they're going to throw the ball as much this year. Thank the Lord. Give it to Najee.
Okay. We're going to go to tight end now. What about...
Oh, this is going to be bad. my tight end pool is like 4.
Dallas Goedert.
Absolutely not. Zach Ertz is healthy. He's playing this week. I'm good.
Okay. What about one of the top guys from last week? Darren Waller.
Big fade. Big fade. His price is ginormous. I didn't know he was Travis Kelce all of a sudden. No shot.
Okay, what about a cheaper option? Noah Fant or Cole Kmet?
All day. Both of them Kmet season. Got Kmet in tourneys. Wanted to go there in cash, but couldn't do it. That range right there, Noah Fant, 4,100. Tyler Higbee, 4,100. And Jared Cook, 3,900. Those are the 3 tight ends you should be targeting pretty much in all formats.
Give me one defense that you like today.
The defense that I'm going to play the most of is actually, go figure, the New York Jets. Not that they're spectacular or anything, but they're playing first-year quarterback Mac Jones. I'm hoping for a sack or 2, maybe an interception if I get lucky, and $2,200, $200 less than the Stone Min. I mean, I'm always looking to, oh my God, I almost choked, pay down at defense.
Okay, love it. So let's pull up some of our picks, recap last week, and then we'll give you some picks this week. Primetime picks, week 2. This was the week 1 recap. I went 3-3 so far, and we're including Monday night because we included the Giants and Washington game. So Johnny went contrarian on that one and chose the Washington football team to win. So he pulled up a game to tie with me, and then Andrew is 2-4. So still early on. We all picked the Bills last week. They all lost. So it is what it is. We all picked the Ravens and they lost. So there's 2 of our losses right there. So this week we have 5 primetime games. We chose we pretty much slot every your Sunday night, your Monday night, and then some of the topped Bills games of the week. And then we'll do our best to cover Mondays and Thursdays as well in our weekly roundup show. Okay, so let's see. Who's our first matchup, Andrew?
Here we go. We got Saints at Panthers. Again, mentioned that the Saints are going to be without 7 of their offensive coordinators. A divisional game should be a pretty exciting one. Again, divisional games in the NFL, you can always chalk up to be, for the most part, to be a good game unless it's Thursday night NFC least primetime games. Totally kidding. Panthers at home. Jameis Winston making his first road start in a Saints uniform. Jay is going. I'm gonna do my best Ace impersonation, contrarian here, and going with the Saints. Ace, why don't you give us a little snippet why you're taking the Panthers here?
Yeah, so I mean the Saints are favored by 3 on the road. So I mean, in neutral fields they would be favored by 6. At home they would be favored by 9. And I'm looking at this game like, why would the Saints be +9 on the Carolina Panthers here? And I think it is potentially a little overhype from last week. I mean, I know Teddy Bridgewater. I'm sorry. I know. R.I.P. Bro. I know. Oh my God, Jameis Winston had a nice game, but I'm not looking at him like if it's a negative game script and they're behind that he needs to catch them back up. I don't know if I 100% agree with believe in him. I lean towards the home team a little bit for that reason. The Panthers didn't play super well last week against the Jets, so I could see, obviously Christian McCaffrey had a real nice game. Sam Darnold looked okay. They have a lot of weapons there. I also took, our little COVID crisis into consideration. Healthier team. Saints are looking at just put 2 of their guys on the IR. Why am I blanking on their names? Lattimore and someone else. I just think this is a game where I'll see the Panthers winning, and I think it'll be close. I don't think it's going to be like some blowout or anything.
Yeah, I think it'll stay close. Again, divisional matchup, really exciting. Robbie Anderson last week only had 1 catch. That's all he needed. Scored a 57-yard touchdown. Darnold played pretty well. I'm not going to read too much into the Saints blowing out a hapless and unhappy Aaron Rodgers football team with missing O-line pieces just yet. So I'm not going to crown the Saints as possible division winners. They're going to have to prove it on the road. So I'm going to take the Panthers here again because of the COVID situations and because I like what I saw from them last week, even though it was against the Jets. I think they can be a little bit more efficient on offense, and once Sam gets a little more. A little more versed in Matt Rule's system, they're gonna be humming pretty much, especially with Christian McCaffrey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean this is a coin toss game. I mean both teams come in with big question marks. That Carolina Panthers secondary is not very good. They got the luxury of playing the New York Jets week 1, who absolutely stink. So you really couldn't take advantage of that. I don't see Jameis Winston throwing for 5 touchdowns. I do see Alvin Kamara eating up a lot of usage on the ground and really taking this game over. He had 23 touches last week and then didn't play pretty much the whole 4th quarter. So I think this is Alvin Kamara day. I think he probably has 2 T's here, which is why I'm scared as hell not playing him in cash. But we're going to move off of that. But I put that behind me for right now. And I think I think the Saints end up winning this game. Obviously, like you guys said, very close divisional matchup, but I'll take the Saints.
Got it. Okay. We'll see who goes. Okay, so we better all not be wrong again. Bills. Bills at Dolphins. Josh Allen in his second year was 2-0 against the Dolphins. Last year he was 2-0 against the Dolphins. He had a 4-touchdown game in the first matchup against them. He had a 3-touchdown game in the last game of the season, in which he sat the second half. So, I mean, he probably would have had like 5 touchdowns in that game if he had played the entire game. I think the Bills, obviously, are super pissed, a little sloppy, a lot of sloppy. Need to rectify that. So they need to come out and have a good showing against the Dolphins. They always play well against the Dolphins. I'm not scared of anybody on the Dolphins. The only holes that the Buffalo Bills were it. The Bills don't make great second half adjustments, and so you'll see that being a concern in some parts of the season. But the Miami Dolphins, unless they get really lucky, make a ton of huge plays, and I will 99% guarantee that they won't win this game. But there's a chance. There's a 1% chance.
Yeah, another divisional matchup, so that's why it's a part and reason why it's included here. I just expect Josh Allen to have just that sour taste in his mouth, and I'm going to go ahead and quote the very funny Adam Sandler from The Longest Yard. Sometimes you just need a tune-up game, And I guess I'm gonna chalk up week 1 to being the tune-up game, and they're gonna come to Miami, and they're gonna mash this slack Division 2 Miami Dolphins team, and he's like, you kind of said it all. He's he's 4-0 in his career against the Dolphins, so I'm gonna go ahead and take the Bills here again, and I have a lot of faith in this pick.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm gonna lose a lot of games this year if we keep picking the Bills, and if we keep putting the Bills on the pick'ems, and I'm gonna keep picking the Bills. So go figure. I got the Bills winning like 14 games this year. So anytime you see the Bills on here, which hey, in case you guys haven't noticed, they're probably gonna be on the pick'em every week, just like the Chiefs. I'm gonna pick the Bills, and I'm probably gonna pick the Chiefs.
Nothing wrong with that. All right, so this is pretty easy. I'm pretty confident. I'm gonna go 2-0 so far. I don't know about you, Jay. You might be 1-1, but all right. Next slide. Next slide, Andrew.
With my luck, yeah.
Oh, why am I the
a little lone wolf action? You want to do that stupid thing they do on NFL Network where they put the hat on and go like a bunch of dum-dums?
On what?
You ever seen that on NFL Network when they do their picks? Oh my God, Andrew, it's grown men, right? Just so we're aware, grown men, national television. When they pick their picks, if there's one person who I can't take you serious, Asa, just full transparency behind the curtain here. This is how Andrew is blocking the glare right now. He's got a hat up. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, no, on NFL Network, these dudes, if one person has a different pick, they put on a stupid little wolf's hat and they like woo like a because they call it a lone wolf pick.
I am the lone wolf today, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah, I'll let Ace go talk about the Cowboys.
The Cowboys were they passed the ball a lot. Game 1, week 1. The number one pass attempt team had the most second most passing yardage in week 1. They technically ranked out at offense ranking number 3. The Chargers played a pretty good game overall last week. Joey Bosa was very complimentary of what's his name, Christian Darrisaw? I can't remember who it was, but yeah, I just think the Chargers Derwin James is playing. He has an toe injury, but Chris Harris Jr. Is questionable. I don't know if he's out completely, but there are some secondary injuries there for the Chargers. I think the Cowboys potentially should have won week 1. Dak Prescott played really well. Hadn't played, obviously since last season. I think this is a potentially close game. I'm pretty sure Eckler and Zeke are going to have terrible games because, that's just the way it's going to be with these two guys. We always overproject them. And not. I mean, I hope not too, but
mainly just Zeke.
But you know what though? Like, the Washington football team is a nice team. They showed that they can play really well given the circumstances on Thursday night, but they played like crap in week 1, and the Chargers looked inherently better for that reason. So I think the Cowboys looked like crap, a little like crap too in some instances, but I saw a lot more that I like. So Dak Prescott will win this game for them, and that's on the road, and they've had extra time to prepare for the Los Angeles Chargers. So
yeah, absolutely. It's almost like a mini bye week anytime you play on a Thursday, and then they kick off the season, and now they get their week 2 matchup going on the road to the Chargers team. This is actually a game that I predicted the Cowboys win 13 games, and I also predicted that they lose their first 2 because then they don't play a playoff team until week 11 against the Chiefs. So I think they're going to be able to rattle off basically, I'm expecting them to rattle off an 8-game winning streak, which is pretty,
Make it 9.
I don't know what would make me compelled to make that pick. I just have this blind faith in Dak Prescott. I mean, he's going to throw the ball 50 times. I don't know if we mentioned it already, but Cedric Wilson's going to be starting in place for Michael Gallup. So Dallas will be without their third best wide receiver. However, they are still very talented. I think the Chargers get this win. I think it's going to be pretty close. It's going to be one of the most. It's probably the highest scoring game on the slate, depending on maybe at least in the early morning games.
And they have two tight ends that they both like. They have Dalton Schultz and Darwin James.
Blake Jarwin.
Blake Jarwin. Oh my God, why am I mixing up the names here? But yeah, Blake Jarwin. Blake Jarwin. Didn't he injure his? Didn't he get injured on the first week last season? He broke his leg or
he
something?
did.
Yeah, last season.
Justin Herbert's my starting fantasy quarterback, and Ezekiel Elliott is my starting fantasy running back in season long. So
I hope
I need this game to go off, and I need those.
Andrew's gonna have fun with this one.
I hope this is like a 30-point game or something like that. The Chargers are always good for like close games throughout the season. So
and then they miss a kick and lose them. This over under is 55. It's huge. It's the biggest one on the slate by half a point. The only one that's right there. So right now, Vegas line has the Chargers in Dallas at 55, Seattle, Tennessee 54, Tampa Bay, Atlanta 51.5, and Arizona, Minnesota 50.5. I just think the health of the Chargers is better than the health of the Dallas Cowboys, as we mentioned. Randy Gregory and DeMarcus Lawrence won't play. DeMarcus Lawrence is the best defensive player for Dallas. It's not even close, hands down. I mean, he could be one of the best defensive players in that division, to be quite honest with you. He was an absolute monster against Tampa Bay. The only reason they even had a shot defensively is because of what that dude was doing. So yeah, I think the Chargers win this game. Don't love it, but I think they win.
Okay, great. Okay, next slide. No, I'm just kidding. Chiefs at Baltimore, Kansas City. We keep hearing Mahomes is 3-0 against Lamar Jackson, yada yada yada. I mean, part of me thinks that this game will be a little bit closer than in some aspects, but I mean, Baltimore is has to go to a running back by committee now. They don't necessarily trust Tyson Williams running the ball. I mean, the Chiefs obviously played at probably 75% of their potential last week. I mean, you guys watched most of the game, right? Like you saw them having to come back against a Cleveland Browns team who had revenge on their mind. So I mean, I don't think this is a trap game whatsoever. I think the Chiefs travel well too. I think the Chiefs win this game, and it's probably by like a touchdown, but I think Baltimore plays a little bit better after getting embarrassed week 1.
Yeah, I think it's a tough task for the Ravens. The Chiefs visited Baltimore last year and won that game 34-27. It was not as close as the score would tell you, though. The Chiefs were up by 3 scores for up until maybe 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, which included a passing touchdown to aforementioned on this show earlier, Eric Fisher, who's an offensive lineman. Until proven otherwise, I'm just gonna Patrick Mahomes, it's 3-0 against the Baltimore Ravens. 3-0 against Lamar Jackson in his career so far. He's 2-0 against Josh Allen. He's 3-0 against Baker and 2-1 against Deshaun Watson. So until I see these quarterbacks really take them down, it's kind of hard to bet against them, even from a neutral point of view. So it should be a fun, exciting game. Get to see him right in primetime action as we saw last year. Last year was on a Monday night, this time on a Sunday night. So I expect them to start 2-0 here. And Baltimore, I still think will be a solid team. I think week 1 was just a blip on their radar. But this is definitely a game that they didn't want to have to face going into 0-1. But I think they'll be okay.
I mean, they're just so banged up. I mean, when you talk about catastrophic cluster injuries to start a season, this is, I mean, to the umpteenth degree. Like
as bad as it gets.
Yeah, literally, quite literally. You kind of feel bad. We could be a little bullish on the stats of Patrick Mahomes if we want, but September, he's 11-0, 35-0 touchdown to interception ratio. He's pretty much unbelievable. Go figure. So yeah, I'm gonna until I see differently. The Chiefs in September pretty much just put a dub there. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that, buddy.
No, hope not.
And moving on to the Monday night. Here's the Monday night game.
I think just sorry. I don't want to cut. I don't just real quick, right? I think we're all in agreement that the Packers are going to smack out of the Lions, right? I mean, this is going to be like this is one. If whatever the line is, it probably opens at like 8. Over. Whatever. Packers by 100, like literally. A national televised game after getting absolutely embarrassed by the Saints at home at Lambeau. Monday Night Football. Give me all the over Aaron Rodgers props. Give me all the overs on whatever the line is. If it's 8, you can give me 10 right now. I'd probably take the line on the Packers right now. I know that the Lions came back against the San Francisco 49ers. That's not happening this week. I mean, literally, Green Bay should be absolutely embarrassed and should smack the living hell out of a Detroit Lion team that really should have only won. I mean, now they may win 5 games. They really should have only won like 3 this season. So, Green Bay, it's not even close. I think that's pretty much – I hope that's what we're all going to say. Maybe I'm wrong.
I texted our group chat saying I would like to pick the Lions, but I'm not going to pick the Lions. But I still picked the Packers to have a shit season this year, so I'll stick behind that all day. I'll stick behind that until week 17 until I'm wrong, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, Jared Goff to T.J. Hawkinson. I mean, Hawkinson played well. Had some fantasy stats there. I mean, I guess if you're going after this game, it would be to maybe like chase DeAndre Swift upside, maybe just for DFS, or Hawkinson upside. But yeah, you probably should pick the Green Bay Packers. But 11.5 points. I mean, you never know. You never know.
Is it 11.5?
It's 11.5.
Take the 11.5.
Yeah, that's what I would say. I would wholeheartedly agree. So that's the Monday night game. We'll see how interesting this Monday night game is. Last Monday night's game was pretty interesting. And then that's going to lead us into Survivor Picks Week 2. So I should be seeing the light right now because I'm the one that's eliminated. Andrew, you want to bust it over to the next slidey slide? Am I frozen?
No, I think Andrew might be, though.
Got him.
Yeah, Andrew's out.
I was like...
Now. So in the Survivor pool, we got, just that way everyone knows. I don't know, does he have the graphic on here, Ace, or does he have it, like, is it on StreamYard?
I got the graphic. I'll pull it up right now.
Okay. Yeah, hold on. Poor Ace is out. I hate myself for it, like I said. And again, in your defense, buddy, if you didn't pick the Vikings, I was going to pick the Vikings. So, either one of us, I guess it just sucks it had to be you.
It's okay. I mean... one of us had to. Poor Andrew. He's seeing. He's. You have a StreamYard outage. Are you?
No, I'm good. I'm here.
I was gonna say you're both you're both on similar Wi-Fi.
I could reach him. That's how I'm like right next to him. He here. So for my Survivor pick, I picked the Steelers. I don't really like the Steelers, and I don't really like the Raiders. That's a big line for the Steelers, and I have all confidence that they're going to smack the crap out of the Raiders. So mine was pretty simple. I'm picking the Raiders. We're waiting for Andrew to get on, but who was your pick, Andrew?
I had the Cardinals.
Cardinals. Andrew's going with the Cardinals against the Minnesota Vikings, which is actually a pick I like. I don't mind it. For a Survivor pick, it's a little more of a toss-up than I would like, but, not too shabby. That Minnesota Vikings offensive line is in shambles, and that Arizona defense, obviously, you saw Chandler Jones with 5 sacks. I don't think he has 5 sacks again, but not crazy to think that he has 1 or 2, and J.J. Watt has 1 or 2 against this awful offensive line in Minnesota. So, and that statue back there in Kirk Cousins. But, yeah.
Yeah, I think this has I think of the two you chose, Andrew picked a little riskier play,
right.
but I would probably say like you both have a shot to win there. Yes, and I agree. I'm hoping that Andrew gets eliminated though, so we can crown Johnny the winner by week 2, and then we'll restart the Survivor Pool challenge after that.
If it helps, Ace, I hope so too.
Sounds great. Yeah, so that's the last of
Okay, had to improvise.
Hey, welcome in, buddy.
Yeah, sorry, we're on the phone here. We had to improvise. We had the glare problems. We had the internet outage. I don't know. I got a hat inside of a cup trying to block out the glare on my computer. Whatever. My Survivor picks Arizona Cardinals. They don't travel well on the road, at least not from what last year showed us. Kyler Murray struggled a little bit. I'm sorry.
Isn't it Minnesota on the road?
Is Minnesota on the road? Did I get that wrong? Oh, Minnesota's on the road. Whatever. Traveling back home, Arizona at home. I don't trust Arizona just yet. Tennessee was banged up. Taylor Lewan got kicked around last week, and I don't expect Chandler Jones to have 5 sacks again. So it could be a tight one. I fully expect Arizona to win, but it's one of those fringe games for me. Sorry guys, I'm in shambles this morning. It's been an interesting Sunday. So it's been good morning. And it's definitely a 2 cup of coffee Sunday after this live stream here concludes. But yeah, I'll go with Cardinals here. Hopefully we get to go 2-0. Because if not, then Johnny gets to win, and I don't want to hear that. Just flat out, I really don't. So.
I hope. Okay, yeah, never mind. Scratch that. Go Raiders. Go Cardinals. No,
Yeah. Oh boy.
Okay, well, we got about an hour and 10 minutes left until kickoff. We will kick off. We will let you guys go so you can get that second cup of Joe.
We're playing too many backs in cash. Please shoot me.
Whatever it takes. Thanks for making it work, Andrew. All right, guys. We got one more last comment in here. I hope Jay's wrong this week. Let's go Cards. All right. Well,
Ryan. Keep me right though, baby.
I feel bad. We're always rooting against Johnny, but it's just.
It is what it is.
We love you so much, buddy. We just love your enthusiasm, and we just like to see we like to see your egregiousness shine through. That's all.
All right. This is the Sunday Morning Roast. We are the AJ Sports Show. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
The lone wolf.
That's right, baby.